And here we are on Antigua Shipyard, and down in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, we have our purple Zerg player from the team Acer. It is Scarlett. Her opponent here in the upper left-hand corner is our red Zerg player from the team Evil Geniuses, Suppy.
All right, so Antigua Shipyard, not the greatest map for mutas. Not that the mutas really factored in at all in that last match. They were pretty much, it was like, hey, look, I pretty much won the game. Let me just come in and finish it now.
They did, in the sense that, like, Scarlett was operating in the dark, and she knew that if mutas were a possibility, she had to rush out as many infestors as she could and left herself susceptible to that Zergling follow-up. But it wasn't,
it's actually, yeah, it's actually a great angle to look at it from. But it was the threat of mutas that maybe won Suppy the game. Sure,
but it's not what you're referring to. It's not like there's mutas out here, the mutas did damage, thus Suppy won the game.
Yeah. Yeah, he actually he could have actually just made it. He could have just built an infestation pit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, could have been anything. Didn't really matter. So
could have been drones.
Yeah,
just 95 drones. Really though, like 95 drones.
Just waiting for that innovative 200 drone attack that NST's inevitably going to pilot at some point.
We are. I mean, it's gonna happen someday in NST version 2.0.
NST version 2.0. Well, there is no second version of Nesty, right? He's creator of universe and all things, right? So
I think you have me there. All right.
He is, and for
I did think about it for a second, but
yeah. Well, we're actually opening the same way that we did last game. 15 hatch into what'll probably be 16 pools here in a second, as we'll see if either of these players decides to go for gas a little bit earlier. Both players tried to test the waters a bit with some scouting lings, and then decided to go quickly up into lair. We saw differentiating attack paths. Scarlett went for Roach Infester. Suppy went for Spire. And mutas did win that last game, if only by proxy. So let's see here now what both players will offer. Gas coming down at the exact same time for both players. And nothing really to note at this point, as the builds are totally mirrored.
Yep. Pretty standard openings here. And, well, you know, looking at Scarlett, I mean, she's just been on an absolute rampage. She's finally lost a game, though, so she's 7-1.
That's right.
In her past. They all have been ZVZs, too, by the way.
Suppy is...
oh, wait, no, not at all. What am I saying?
3 of them were PvZs yesterday.
Yeah.
Suppy has found, though, that she is beatable, that you can defeat her. Now, Scarlett's got a game to give, and we know that she can be very aggressive in a best-of situation. We saw a 10 pool to start things off, but, you know, I mean, that wasn't totally all in. She did her economic damage and got out. That's what she wanted to do. But in this game, maybe we'll see something very, very aggressive on this map. She does like this map, and this was actually a map I saw her use in ZVZ Ultralisks, up to Infestor Ultralisk.
That's pretty interesting. Of course, you can play super defensive. You use spawn crawlers, lots of lings while you get your upgrades, and you get yourself some infestors. But you really don't want to push out too heavily. In fact, I know that we did cast a game where the person moved out with like ling infestor, and they just died to roach infestor because it's better. But once you get those ultras, whew, man, if you can engage in big open areas where there are not like narrow chokes and ramps. Because you can actually just murder ultras if they try to push onto a ramp and you're like, derp, infested Terrans everywhere, and now you can't come up my ramp and your ultras are just dying. Then that can be great for you, but yeah, you just play a nice defensive game, so Antigua's a great map for that. It really is. Yeah,
I mean, and Suppy has his Baneling Nest coming up just a little bit earlier, but otherwise these guys have been very close to each other. Actually, Scarlett's just been a little bit cleaner on her build. She's been a little bit quicker to inject, a little bit quicker to put up drones. It's put her just a bit ahead every now and again. For now, though, Suppy's making a big line of Zerglings. We'll see if he wants to do any damage with those or just try and get through and do some get some scouting information.
Looks like he's going to be moving out with a couple of lings. No more 10 pools throughout this series, you know. It's funny, the ladder influence rubbing off on him. But yeah, I mean, this is just like an insane amount of passivity coming out of both of these guys. They're like, look, let's just tech up, let's get drones, let's play a legit game of StarCraft here. Suppy going to come in and get some scouting information right now. Scarlett heading out as well, just a little bit later.
And Suppy's actually going to be able to get through just fine. Takes a little bit of damage on each of his units. No, get around. He can't do it. A little wall made there with the Queen and the Queen Hatchery, a couple of links in this Baneling Nest. And the pathing for Suppy didn't automatically send him around. And Scarlett actually holds and prevents any information from being taken.
Yeah, that was really cute.
Although I think Suppy, he saw gas there.
He actually even saw that the drones were going into the gas. So he knew that was right when the gas was starting to be mined. So a little bit of information there for Suppy knowing, okay, you know, I know that you're starting to mine off these gases now, and that gives me a good concept that you intend to tech.
And Scarlett decides, after being scouted, to just go after a third expansion. Looks like she herself has seen double gas, so she knows layer tech is on the way. And I believe she even saw the Roach Horn coming up. So she knows what path he's heading down and decides to go for Mutas. So once again, we're going to have Roach Infestor versus Mutas.
It's happened pretty much every time. So, you know, we were saying it's not the best map for Mutas, but Scarlett is choosing to go for that route. And, you know, often when your opponents don't expect you to go for something, it makes it all that much more powerful. So that is one advantage, of course. But it's not terribly bad either. It's a really narrow map when you're in cross positions like this, so you can really anticipate where the overlords are going to be hiding. And you can kind of just shoot down that line after you go in for your initial harass. And a lot of the overlords will be running like kind of straight down and to the right or actually straight up and to the right for Suppy rather.
Well, we'll see here. But how many units both these guys plan to make? That's 15 roaches right away. That's not a half measure. Has Suppy actually cut workers? No, he's at 49. He's at a reasonable amount here. But 15 roaches is a lot, and he may plan to put on some pressure very early on, as he has not gotten the infestation pit, ladies and gentlemen. This is just going to be basically a roach all-in. Glial Reconstitution and +1 weapons just about to finish up, and he can move out there and try and do damage right now. For Scarlett, though, there are 10 mutas coming out, and 10 is a significant number. It's actually going to be able to shoot down these roaches very quickly.
I mean, the timing here from Suppy, you can go for this build faster than what he's managed to do here, but it is so recognizable. He went for a kind of ambiguous, hey, you don't really know what I'm doing from information here. My gas timings could really be anything. So it's hitting after Spire. This is actually, it can hit before, but we'll see. Scarlett, I mean, if Suppy goes for the third here, Scarlett's going to be just fine. She's going to obliterate these. Looks like no, it's just the Lynx going for it. Here come the Roaches. What kind of damage they're going to be able to get done? They've got Glial, they've got +1. They're going to be a force to contend with for sure.
That's right, but the Spine Crawler is up. It's already picking away at these roaches. We'll actually take a look at their health to see how much damage they're actually going to do. You can see that they're dropping very rapidly. I mean, 10 mutas overhead can kill these very, very quickly. The total economic damage, 1 worker has been killed. 1 worker and a queen, yes, but still just 1 worker, and everything was cleaned up at the front. After all of that, Scarlett still has the advantage in workers, and now she's got 10 mutas that are going pretty much unopposed. Was hoping you wouldn't go mutas, says Suppy.
Yep, I mean, it was honestly, like, that's a great attack if your opponent's not going for Spire, but it hits too late. And so here's the thing now from Suppy. I mean, he knows he's almost out of this because he can't take a third from here.
No.
He didn't go for Infestors quickly enough. He's got no way to go and move to grab that third base. I knew it was coming, so I overmake Lynx. I mean, Scarlett, that's actually really impressive. If Scarlett honestly knew that this attack was coming, because Suppy did a great job trying to hide it. He did not make this look like a +1 Glial attack.
Right. And looks like she's just going to supply block the crap out of her opponent right now, and there's really not much that Suppy can do about this. And he's going to lose a Spore Crawler back up at home. He's losing all of his workers, and I think this is close to a foregone conclusion here as Scarlett starts morphing at a few units of her own. Looks like one big last-ditch effort coming out from Suppy. Scarlett will need to intercept that, but once she does, this is going to be very rough for Suppy to get anything else done.
She's going to have Infestors popping out any second here. I mean, we'll see. Maybe he'll get this third. I don't see that many units out for Scarlett, actually, at the moment. Units tab? Does she? No, she's just got her 10 mutas. So, I mean, this is actually a nice blow for Suppy here. That's really, really going to help. But these roaches aren't going to make it back home. And Scarlett's got 17 roaches on the way of her own. She's going to be posed for a really, really large counterattack in a moment.
And nice fungal growth, pinning units down. Fungal growth hitting all of the roaches. The mutas coming in from behind to help clean things up. And Suppy is down to very low health on the rest of his units. Down now by 60 supply. Not able to really remake anything. Can't even establish a third base after killing his opponent's own third. And Scarlett may decide to move out and attack here momentarily.
Yeah, and Suppy really likes just sniping hatcheries. He killed the hatch, but not any of the drones, and then leaves. I mean, it's definitely, it's just not advantageous. I mean, you don't really actually do that much damage. You just slow things down. And I don't know. Suppy needs more than that. But I'm still, like, absolutely I'm so befuddled right now on how Scarlett knew that attack was coming. Because I don't... Here's the thing. Suppy took both of his gases at his natural expansion. He didn't take... The one that he didn't take, because this is a 3-gas attack.
Yeah.
He didn't take the one to the right in his main. And Scarlett didn't have an Overlord over there, so she wasn't able to see that. So it looked like Suppy was operating on 4 gases. I mean, I'm going to really want to take a look at this replay and see how she was able to figure that out, because it's so smart.
Well, the Mutas are going to pull a lot of Queens out of position. As soon as they do, she can go right through the front with the rest of her Infestors and Roaches. There's not going to be too much that... I mean, I'm sorry to sound like doom and gloom again, but Suppy is just in a really, really bad spot. Scarlett's taking 2 more bases.
He's going for the mass queen strategy push again. I mean, it's a way to kind of try to quickly throw together some anti-air. But, I mean, he's sitting on 500 gas. He could easily just afford to make like 4 or 5 Infestors. He had 700 a second ago before he made these Roaches, so... the Queens, of course, are going to take a decade. Scarlett's going to have forever to make her units. And this just seems to be Suppy's way that he enjoys going out of a game, is reality. He's like, look, I'm just going to make lots of Queens and go for you. So
it's a very flashy way to go out.
It's lighthearted. I like it.
All right, well, Suppy's actually dancing as Roaches back and forth. Yeah, he's having a bit of fun, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think he thinks that he's going to be moving on in this set, but, oh, gets everything fungled. Adding insult to injury, that was just a perfect fungle. Rest of the unit's going to fall here for Scarlett. Scarlett pushing out on the map. And he's just continually reburrowing everything up and down.
Oh, this is awesome. So...
and, well, here's Scarlett. And, yeah. He's not even attacking. Guys, that's GG. Scarlett is going to take this this game. She's going to take this set. There it is. And ladies and gentlemen, we have our 2 semifinalists, or 2 of them, I should say. Yep. Major and Scarlett going to fight each other in the next round. That
they will. An exciting match it will be. Guys, make sure you tune in tomorrow for the EU qualifiers to see actually who also makes it to the semifinals, rather, excuse me. But as for now, it looks like Scarlett prevailing over Conan, Mr. Suppy Liu.
That's right. So Scarlett advances. So does Major. They're going to match up in the next round. We'll have EU quarterfinals for you guys tomorrow. Highly recommend you guys go back and, if you're just tuning in, go back and watch Axelov versus Major Game 2.
Yep.
Absolutely fantastic game. One of the better ones we've had in a while. So that's going to be it for us tonight, though. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter as @IGN Pro League on any of those services. You can find us on Twitter, too. I'm @KenZy. He's @Kibbles. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you tomorrow.